Alright everyone, before I begin, can everybody hear me in the back without me using a microphone? Good. I'm terrible with microphones. You wind up, and Richard Schaefer. This is the History of Sengoku Japan panel. Sengoku Japan panel. A few reasons why I have any idea what I'm talking about. I've studied East Asian history and literature, China, Japan, for 15 years, as old as that makes me feel. I was a history consultant and developer for online simulated history games, Sengoku Japan, Chaos Japan. Third place winner for 2010 Summer Fiction Contest. Author of this little gem down here, Escort. I'm the founder of Tekko2015.com. Sounds a lot dirtier than it is. My name is Richard. I was named after my grandfather Dick. Jutsu is Japanese for way or style or technique, so it's Richard's style. I'm also co-founder, writer, and head developer for the indie game company Nick3 Entertainment. We've got 2 titles out there, Dynasty Heroes, which if you ever played Dynasty Warriors or Romance of 3 Kingdoms, it's a parody of that, and Monster, which is a story of a 14-year-old girl who can summon monsters and they follow her around. Kind of a tragic tale. HR's off their game. A few ground rules. I am a scholar, not a linguist. I have studied Japanese language. I'm not fluent in it. I will, because of 15 years ago, whenever I started studying it, I started studying the culture before the language. So sometimes my brain will just miss a click of gears, and I'll pronounce Ikeda as Aikida. Weird things like that. A few other things. There are some weird pronunciations of Japanese, also weird spellings of things. Nagamasa, Asai, Azai. It's some scholars say Azai is more correct. Others say Asai. Anyway, it's going to be for the first part of it. We're going to be summarizing a lot of years. So we're going to be kind of breezing through the first part to give you a background of what we're talking about. And then we'll hit the more interesting part, the second part, once we've got a foundation. A few general terms that I will say pretty often. Sengoku means warring states. Sengoku Jidai is the age of the country at war, the age of the warring states. During this time, there was a warrior class known as the Bushi. They're also known as the Samurai, which meant retainer of, particularly the Shugo, provincial governors of the land. Now, they answered to the court nobles, Kuge, who also answered to Tenno, the Emperor of Japan, Imperial Yamato family. During the Heian period, 790s to 1190s roughly, this began to change a little bit. You've heard of the Kamikaze, the Divine Wind, the Mongols invading Japan. During that time, a new position was created, the Seitai Shogun, Commander-in-Chief of the anti-barbarian armies. This was a generalissimo position that the emperor said, you know what, the country is yours, whatever you need to do to keep the Mongols out of Japan. That gave one person a lot of power. And that person, often referred to as Shogun, Shogun of Taishogun, means the leader of the tent office, the bakufu. Eventually, the position of the Shogun became kind of, it was basically a usurper position. It was a regent for the emperor. What changed? Eventually the Shogun began to take away more and more of the emperor's power, running the country for himself. Now, most often, this was done peacefully. The emperor sat around and said, you know what, I really don't want to deal with this anymore. You're my regent, you do it. And Shogun would either say, oh yeah, sure, it's now my duty, and my son who will be Shogun, it will be his duty, or I'm going to give it to this person and they're going to take care of it, but they're going to do it in my name, not yours. Another change was that Shugo became Daimyo. They are not the same thing. Shugo was a governor appointed by the emperor or the Kuge. He ruled in the name of the governor. We then had the Daimyo, it means great name. The Daimyo took over the old Shugo lands. They were often, sometimes they were Shugo who just kind of stopped so much answering to the emperor and the shogun as they claimed the land for themselves, and maybe decided, you know what, I think I want to be shogun next. Other times they were a retainer of the shugo who said, you know what, I got a bigger army than my boss. His land's mine now. Samurai who served the shugo became the daimyo at a lot of points. So, who was the first Sengoku daimyo? The first, either samurai or shugo to decide, you know what, this land is mine. Debatable. In 1479, we have Asakura Toshikage, who defeats the shugo of Shiba, takes Echizen for himself. However, he was technically a vassal of the Hosokawa clan, so he wasn't a daimyo in his own right per se. A few years later, in 1493, Hojo Son takes Izu from Ashikaga Chachamaru. It's an awesome name. He was a great dancer. He had declared his independence from the Imagawa at that time, so he was technically a full daimyo in his own right. It's debatable which one you want to call first. Your notes in the general terms, like I said, Shogun is leader of Japan, he's acting as the regent. The daimyo held nominal titles of rulership. Nokame, Kawachi Nokame means the lord of Kawachi province, or the governor. Nosuke is the deputy governor, deputy lord. And mentioned before, names and things, a lot of people change their names throughout their life. A lot of samurai and daimyo would change their names whenever something great happened. Oh, I got a huge promotion. Call me this now. The traditional weapons of the samurai changed a lot during this period too. The traditional weapons, the sword, the odachi or the tachi, that's your katana. The spear, the yari, that was your general field weapon. They may also be a kamiyari, nagayari, they might have a cross point or a billhook blade to it. Also had the halberd, which is the naginata, the glaive, the longbow, the yumi, also the short bow, the hankyu. They would use this on foot, on horseback. Your daggers and knives, the kodachi and the tanto. The kodachi is your wakizashi in your daisho combination, the katana and wakizashi. Kind of a picture of the hammer. But the ozuchi, it's like a big, often wooden battle hammer, good for just smashing someone who's wearing armor. Grappling hook, the kaginawa, for climbing in sieges. That is a kanabo type of club. Down here we have a kunai, which is a type of shuriken, throwing weapons. Shuriken and kunai, things like that, often get portrayed as, that's the weapon of the ninja. But samurai use them too. And we'll get into later the difference between samurai and ninja. There really wasn't. But you go into battle with your sword, your spear. You ever seen a katana? Yeah. There. That cross pattern stitch of the handle, you could slide things in there, knives, stuff like that, so that once you've dropped your spear and you're getting close, right before he gets to you, you can hit him with a shuriken before he gets to you. That's one less guy you gotta stab.